All right, welcome. This is Dynasty the podcast show. I am your host, Ira Bush. I just want to to say thank you and welcome. First and foremost, before I forget the background of just being, I want to just start off by saying I'm thankful and I'm very grateful for being able to speak and give my opinion, give my bring you real information and up to date things that's going on in our world, as far as the United States, as far as main thing that's going on around the whole entire world. And this, I'm just happy that I'm able to speak in this manner, in this platform, and create my own way of my own brand, my continue the brand that I began and started with, staying on course with what my vision is actually is. And I also helped a lot of people along the way, so I'm happy about that as well. I'm not the type of person to be mad at someone else's success. I'm always trying to make sure the I will champion anybody that's supposed to be championed, or have that mindset to be a winner. So I'm never going to go against somebody that wants to win. I'm never going against anyone that wants success, or even hopefully they want the same for me. And I'm never like on that type of energy. Like, it's so rare that I even if I don't win all the time, it's rare that I don't have a chance to win, or I won't figure out a way to win in life or anything I put my mind to. So it's like I don't have that mentality of losing. So people out there, it's a big world. So I don't know everybody that don't like me. I don't know everybody that does like me. You know what I'm saying? I don't really, if you're not on the same wavelength as me, I'm not stunning you really on that tip, what I'm saying, on that like or dislike type of thing. So, that's pretty much it on that. Man, today we got a big day. First and foremost, man, I haven't done this in a while, so I just want to shout out my mother. She's a strong person. I love her to death. I love her for sure, not to death, but I love her for sure. My daughter, I talk about them all the time. These are two of the strongest people, around my nieces and nephews right now. So, they definitely about the same length as my mother and my child. So, I don't have, I'm not in a bad space on that. Today we have for as far as, community things that I'm doing in the community. I looked up, they ended up putting another, they ended up Broward County School Board ended up having a school board meeting at the end of this month. It wasn't up there. They're doing a whole refurbish or redesign of what is going on over there in that county. I'm not taking credit, or I have to actually see the results, but I still, just to be safe, I have to make sure I'm gonna put them in. I ain't really playing around with them, with my child, switching classes, different energies, trying to teach her. I'm in public school. When they shut down the whole thing during COVID, I was in favor of not putting them back in school. I don't like the way they try to manipulate people, and because I already know everything that they're learning. You get what I'm saying? I already went through those steps, K through 12. So no, I don't mind. The biggest thing is I wanted my child to experience high school for sure, because that's when you learn the basics of how to operate as a young adult, and then you be a young adult in college, and then you be an adult after you graduate. And that's the system that America wants to be copy and paste. But when you have a gifted child or gifted relatives, they don't have to go abide by those types of things. They their abilities to create is what will separate them. So my child definitely has that ability to create. I don't know if she wants to go to college. She's not unintelligent. So same with my niece. Both they're very creative. They're very well spoken people. They don't need to actually be in the education system, but they can use the education system for their advantage to get them to where they need to be. I always tell them that first and foremost, this is something that's already paid for. This is something that's already given to you, especially if you stay in the state that you're born in. It's not expensive at all to go to a community college or to a university if you test well. Now, that being said, let's move on. The thing we're gonna go. going right at it. Okay, yesterday, I love when I'm not even gonna play. I'm not playing the replay of them going to visit. They call it the alligator. I don't even know what they calling it. Alligator Alcatraz. Alligator Alcatraz. Now, I was born and raised in the state of Florida. So the stuff that I've been speaking on for the last 2 months, but really the last 3 or 4 months, whatever whatever space that I'm in, where I was at, whether I was doing the radio show at my school, my college, or whether I'm doing this podcast show here. Now, the thing that is the issue is I'm laughing, but I'm not. I don't think it's a funny issue. You get what I'm saying? I'm laughing because these people that voted, these are the people that I'm talking about. Their relatives, they might not all have they might not all, they probably were the ones that say vote for Trump. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing that they probably was telling their relatives to do so they could get aligned and they could win some kind of control or power. But now they see what it really is. There's people here that's born that is real United States. That ain't even need to be called United States citizens. This land was already taken for. You know what I'm saying? People come over here stating claim to something. That's why they got y'all in detention centers for selling out. And that's what I'm trying to get to. They are literally they got a prison. They call it in a migration center. Alcatraz. What is it called? I ain't being funny. Alligator Alcatraz. There's a prison called Alcatraz. I think that's a prison, right? So I'm like they're literally calling the state of Florida is known for alligators. That's one of our natural animals. If you do a lot of research in history, they say we were once connected to Africa. The state of Florida was. I don't know how true that is, but I like the way it sounds. And there's definitely a lot of African descended people here. And all nations, all types of nations, from Africa to the islands to wherever you want to go. They're all connected to the motherland. And there's people over here that are frauds and that are, there's people that their genetics have been very tied in with European genetics, and they think they're supposed to come over here and stay clean, but they're really the biggest frauds and sellouts. And it's a whole big sham show going on with people not understanding that. You know what I'm saying? There's people not believing that there's already people like me that are telling y'all the direct truth, or the information we getting or have remembering the truth. It is what it is. Like it ain't nothing being sugarcoated when I'm speaking. I might not have the full story yet, but I'm getting get there. And I'm not. I only could share with you what's going on now. I think okay. I'm gonna let y'all listen to CNN's. This is reported like 3 or 4 hours ago. These are the people, they have, I guess, yesterday it was, I can't believe they actually went in there. The president went in there and took a tour. You ain't visit no prisons. There's people sitting in real prisons right now that don't supposed to be there. Like a lot, not a little bit, a lot. You literally went and visit somewhere that they ain't got nobody yet, and then you doing it on some old Ku Klux Klan. With they tied into slavery, selling slaves. Like this man is literally blatantly like it ain't no comprehension. Like you ain't gonna even be president for the next, but you got 3 more years, and you gotta live after that. You gotta actually go. You actually are a representation of this country. The continent. I don't know if the people in Canada are with you or not. Like I don't even know if you got like it's so much that I could say like in I'm not. He did it to himself really. So hey, everybody ain't got the intelligence to be not seen on the dumbest scene ever. Like I just look at that as like, and I'm not even saying, if they need to actually have that center or facility to help people get back to where they need to go if they're here illegally and they're not doing what they're supposed to do to obtain the residence of being a U.S. citizen. I don't mind it, but it's like the stench of slave. That's what it's giving me when they're seeing the whole facility. It's giving me slaves. Like I'm not being funny. Like I'm being like targets. Let's go target people and put them in here. Like that's the whole. That's how they speaking. So I'm like, I don't know what they do. You know that energy is the complete opposite of what I've been talking about. So I'm looking for what I'm trying to accomplish. Now I talk about me having resources, me having a facility. They go here and do some old fences, thin board beds. I'm like, what? Like, come on, man. And I'm not trying to say if they over here illegally that they need to be living lavishly. I'm saying, why are you wasting? What is this about? Why are you showing this off? This is like you're taunting people. I don't know. I don't know. Like it's confusion. And then if you really do the history of the real United States history, this land was a free land. This was not a land that needs to have people in cages. Like this was not designed to have people in cages. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has disagreements. I'm not saying that, but it wasn't. They're going too far. They're going way out the way. That's all I can say. They're going way out the way. I want to see them actually go try to find the European white supremacist people that was here that are illegals. I want them to put their energy and putting them saying that same energy and putting them people in them detention centers. They in Florida, they is. So make sure y'all put that energy, the same type of energy of going to the people that clearly have ties to this land. It's clearly, especially in Florida. So y'all can't go attacking those types of people and then not go take the people that's stealing and that's been stealing and that's been fraudulent for the last since they signed that U.S. Constitution. Then they hollering that they got they revealed the Thomas Jefferson statue in Florida. I don't even remember him being even connected to Florida. I don't even remember him being from Florida. So I'm trying to see what big deal he did in Florida. But I ain't dissing no presidents of history, but I'm just looking at it like in confusion. I'm trying to figure out what they coming up with this stories and these storylines, and it's a lot going on. I think I don't know if he feel embarrassed or not. Like he might not feel embarrassed, but like it doesn't help. He's not helping his overall popularity. It's not giving him popular. It's giving him very Ku Klux Klan white supremacist energy. So, I don't know if he's gonna go back to wearing his cloaks and his whole cabinet that signed up with him. I want to see that. That would be the funniest thing ever. Like I would like to see that. I would like to see somebody Photoshop that. Them putting on white Ku Klux Klan clothes. Niggas got the cloaks with the hell on. I want to see that. Well, real talk, man, real talk. Okay. I'm gonna let y'all play. Then I'm gonna get a short little what you call. I just a lot going on, so let's listen to the opinions of the CNN reporters of this alligator Alcatraz. I didn't hear it. I didn't tell me. I didn't listen. Uh huh. Oh wow, what's that? He actually vivid. your face and throwing it all right there. Good. Mm. Amen. Mhm. I did not watch this before. I'm just letting this for the record. I did not watch this. Y'all listening at the same time I'm listening. Okay. Everybody pretty much said the same thing that disagrees with how dumb it. The dumbest thing is actually going to take the tour. I know what they did to him, and our governor was with him, so he's just as dumb. He can't never be the president. He's never gonna be the president. He's not allowed. He just disqualified himself completely from ever becoming president. I do not know how he's still our governor. I'm not standing with that person. That is not somebody I'm standing with. I don't care what he got going on. I know how many Spanish people stay here. I ain't that. That's just. I can't. Let's put it like this: the intelligence. I don't know what they missing. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like you don't not supposed to go. Like you might be like okay in the background making up paperwork, and you got all your people in your council and your cabinet, whether it's the governor form or the presidential form, and working on this. And you send somebody else over there to visit it and tell them take pictures, do videos. You don't go there and make a whole news broadcast. That looks horrible. You are looked at in the world as Ku Klux Klan. You're looking as very small, narrow-minded. You're not thinking big, and you're supposed to be thinking the biggest. And it's very it's like it's not comprehension. The comprehension is not there. You're not there. You have basically a. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm just gonna move on from it. Y'all know what it is. They said it at the end. The lady really put it down like you look at your tent, your real internal tent. That's what he got to start doing. You got to look at himself first. When he start doing, it don't make no sense, and they making sense, and they adding up. The math ain't adding. But let's go to y'all know they've been the straw man story about this. It's been going on. I think that is the cover. This the bill that they trying to pass is the cover up for what we just was talking about, and they just threw that out there like it was some kind of grand opening of celebration. It's supposed to be like happening, so it didn't make no sense. But now we're gonna talk about the little straw man story. The house. No, let me get it right. Yeah, the house passed their version of the bill, very small thing. There was reports that I think it was the senators. The senators are doing. They want the senators to vote. They say it's a lot of pushback, Republican, definitely democratically, on passing it with the Senate's on this bill. So I don't know. They gotta pass that, and then they will still have a lot of people who go foul that this is improper. So it's gonna take a real long time for this to actually be put into place if it goes completely through. So, like I said, it's a lot of judges and law firms that works with the judges that definitely are not with this. It's too much. People are going to be homeless and poor or starving. All that stuff that's what they calculate. It won't be that long before all that stuff plays into effect. It's going to be within a year or two before you even get out of office. That's what they're going to see. A lot of people, but they don't. I'm gonna let it play. I don't think they understand who already get treated horribly when it comes to resources. So they don't even know who they cutting off. Really, they think they cutting off people that look like me, but we gonna see. You're gonna let it work out. You're gonna let it play out. And I'm not talking about. I don't. The biggest thing for me is the people that went to war for the country. You're not supposed to mess with nothing that they already agreed to help them with. It don't matter the color on that. And I ain't no soldier. You know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of people that put their life on the line for the country, and it's not that big. So we got a bunch of stupid people representing us, putting them in danger all the time. So it is what it is. I don't know. My hands is in the air. I'm stick to what I know. Coach, helping the community, the stuff that every other country's supposed to be focusing on, like I'm focusing on. I don't got time to be dealing and all that. So, don't put me over here with that. Y'all gotta stay over there. Y'all signed up for it. All that stuff matters. So, I'm not, I'm just gonna put it like that. I'm just gonna say it like that. Y'all go watch my previous shows. You'll understand why I'm talking like this. So Uh, there you have it. So everybody getting attacked, Medicaid, education system. We going to fund somebody war. Or this is somebody he owes. This is somebody that owes other peoples in countries that want to fund a war somewhere else. This is what that says for. That's all I need to hear. You ain't got no money for your people that's in America because you got to go fund and pay somebody back for starting wars, for destroying somebody else's land, and you got to pay it back. And you want to use somebody, you want to use we the people who got to raise their children, who want their children in programs designed to set them up for success. We need our programs. We don't need to go fund nothing for you. How about you stop being the president and go over there and sign up with your people and go over there and fight? We don't want to fight with you. All right, that's my last thing on it. We're moving on now to end today on a positive note and a fun note. We're going to talk about the NBA. The three teams that I'm going to discuss will be the hold on before I even go move forward. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Oh yeah, before I move to sports, community outreach, basketball game tonight. Big game. We 1-1. This team we haven't played yet. I'm looking. It's gonna be tough because that team that we're playing, like I just realized, I only have two 12-year-olds, and mind you, the league is. I'm missing. I'm gonna miss one of my 12-year-olds because it is 4th of July weekend, so they're out of town. So I'm gonna miss like the rebounder, the defender. She does a great job on both of those. And the team we're playing, and they're very tough. They're very good at scoring. They're very advanced, but it's up in the air. We can't make turnovers, can't have turnovers. We got to start going to the basket, to the hole. We're gonna work a lot on that next week. I'm excited because everything's timing up. It's probably around where I thought it would be. I didn't think we would be. I thought we would make more jumpers. So even if we lost, like last game, we lost. It ended up. It should have been 1-10. We didn't make no shots last game. The team was very tough. But I haven't practiced interior offense at all yet. So I've been trying to practice the pick and run action and not double dribbling, all the basic stuff of what you need to do when you really playing. So I'm not looking for them to be perfect in the first few games. This game is one of those games that they need to make their shots. And we should be able to win this game if we play good defense. So, I'm looking at it like that. I don't think we're, talent wise, they might be a little bit more talent. The coach is actually pretty good. They've been together already. They got their form. The captain, how they play. They know how each other plays. They play well off each other. So, it's going to be a tough game. We're not going to be favorite, but we do have a chance to win. So, we're 1-1. Both of us lost to that team that we lost to last week. And hopefully my team come out with the energy to make some jumpers and be calm and collective by making these shots, and they take advantage of every opportunity they get. And anything like I was speaking on earlier today that there's going to be a I haven't seen on the meeting. The first meeting for school board meeting is in August, so they're not doing too much in Palm Beach County till like the first week of August, and or I think the second week of August probably. But like I said, I gotta make sure both of these counties are properly on point when it comes to education, because my students that I still have been in the race of being educated, they're very important. And they actually test well, they grade their scores. As far as I won't say no, standardized tests is not that important to me, but they do good. They do very well in just class. And like I said, my child is going to be in middle school. She's going to have several different teachers. She has to be mindful that the structure of middle school is way different from elementary, and it's setting you up for high school. So just be mindful, take everything, and be very attentive. Stay in front of the class. You know what I'm saying? Let's be on point. Now that's it for community. All right, y'all come out support my basketball team if you're in the area. I'm gonna be at Palm Springs Middle School. But yeah, I think the games are from six to swing. The first game 6:15, the next game 7:15. So y'all in the area, y'all want to come say hey, y'all want to come support my nephew, support the team. Y'all could come out and support us. It'll be cool. Now, moving on. Sports. Yeah, today I'm gonna just break down. I haven't been watching the WNBA or nothing like that, but y'all make sure y'all stay. The games are still going. I thought they just finished announcing the starters. A lot of people, I didn't agree with the captain. I was talking about that yesterday, but I don't mind them all making the all-star teams, and y'all support the women. The basketball games, and they're probably the only thing on right now. Baseball as well. So baseball and WNBA are the most, and we also have the I think it's 19 and under USA girls and men's basketball going on. There's a lot going on with that. I don't think if it's under. I think it's just some USA basketball teams playing overseas and stuff, or trials or whatever they're doing over there. I see that get reported on. I don't know exactly what's going on, but support if y'all got the channel, FIBA, whatever that it may be that's playing. And then I'm not too advanced on reporting on soccer. That's going year round, so that's always happening. I need somebody to actually help me with that. But and then Coco Golf got upset in the Wimbledon in first round. I think it was first round. So that's a big feat defeat for the USA. But y'all can still support the Wimbledon as well. It's a national. It's one of the top 4 tournaments. You get your Masters champions when you play out there. So yeah, that's it for that. Now NBA talk. The draft and how fast the turnaround is with the season starting in October. It's not really the season really starts again for them at the end of July. After they come in and make the switch, they got to start preparing to know their new teammates and the rookies. And then the summer league start. I think the summer league might have started already, or it's going to start on the 10th or something like that. So it's a lot going on with that. I want to see what I think. The summer league starts on the 5th. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, summer league starts on the 10th in California. Heat, the Warriors. I ain't gonna lie, I be wanting to go pull up to those type of games. I need to make an effort. I don't know if it's gonna be this year. I'm gonna make an effort. What they said on the 10th is gonna be Cooper Flag. That's what they said. That's why I thought it was the 10th, but it's the 5th. Yeah, they said that I'm a Lakers fan. I always tell the story how I became a Lakers fan. So, it's not because I'm dissing the team from Florida, just because I remember vividly starting to coherently understand basketball watching Shaq and Kobe. And I watched 98 playoffs. So, in 99, that's when I really started understanding during the playoffs. They was playing the Portland Trail Blazers. And I was during my I was in my family reunion, and all my family was there, so it was just all locked in on some other stuff. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's how I became a Lakers fan. I was always a Kobe fan. Kobe used to dunk on people, like no questions, no. It was up every game. No days off. No games off. But yeah, man, the summer league's coming up, so it ain't really no time off when the young players are trying to go find and catch that championship and make roster spots. So I'm gonna do my little whatever game I tune to. I'm gonna try to report on it and they'll talk about it. But yeah, let's go into the three teams. Hopefully, I can get through a lot of these teams before the fifth, so y'all kind of know who's gonna be playing. That's new. Now, the first team we're gonna discuss is the Dallas Mavericks. They had one draft pick, the number one pick, Cooper Flag. He's expected to basically fill that void of them shipping Luca to the Lakers. And I actually, the difference between him and Luca, the athleticism. He doesn't shoot from deep as well as Luca, but he does have a 3-point shot. He's very athletic. Defensively, he can protect the rim way better and probably better on the perimeter as a defender. And I'm saying probably is definitely for sure is just from his preparatory league as far as high school and college. He played a lot of elite players. He tested well at all levels. So, I'm not that high on him. I got to see him actually develop into a complete superstar that they proclaim him to be at these other levels. And he's not, he's very young. So he will have time to grow and time to develop. But you also playing with two MVP candidate type um two MVP candidate that played with LeBron, learned from one of the greatest, if not the greatest in some people's eyes, with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving on that team. And you're going to have them for at least 2 or 3 years, both of them. So, he's going to be in position to go from last place. Basically, they made the playoff play in, but they didn't make the playoff run. They was out first. So, with that help, with that youth helping, and I think they got some far as free agents who they got. They still got Klay Thompson. I forgot about that. And Derek Lively. I don't want to say that incorrect. He's pretty nice. Galfer off the bench. They got a nice PJ Washington is very nice defensively on the wing. Same with Klay. His defensive prowess. Max Christie. They got in that trade went on. I think they got him in the trade, but it's nice. They got a nice team in Dallas, and I'm not. I don't think they lost a lot. They re-signed Kyrie, like I said. They didn't. They lost Spencer Dinwiddie, who was a nice piece as far as being a point guard. But they didn't lose much. They got people in that place for it that could take that guy's place. Not saying he's not a good pro, but it's people that are talented enough to come in and fulfill that. And you just got the number one pick. So Dallas definitely will be in the running of the top 14 next year, if not top 2 or 3. And they still got the defending champs in the Western Conference and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's Oklahoma City Thunder. So that's gonna be tough overall. Now, yeah, that's gonna be tough. I like it. I like it a lot. The next team we're gonna talk about is the New Orleans Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans. Now they had the 7th pick. Jeremiah Fears. No, excuse me. Let me correct that. Let me make sure I'm saying that correctly. Yeah, Jeremiah Fears. I didn't look at he's a guard. He's probably gonna help just on the perimeter, shooting and defensively. He's top 7 pick. When you get picked in the top 15, you're deemed a potential all-star to superstar, and being picked 7th is really high. They don't have Brent Ingram. He's not on the team anymore, but they still have Zion Williamson. And I like them giving him some perimeter help and adding and getting and acquiring that trade at 13 from Atlanta. They got Derek Queen. I looked at just the film. I see him is very, very smooth. He's not as explosive off the ground, but he's very quick with his feet. He got nice footwork. He got his dribble and agility ability is very high level. He could see the floor. He could pass. He could shoot. He got a nice smooth touch. He could develop into one of the top big men in the league within a year or two if he gets the right coaching, the right opportunities. I think being with Zion Williamson, he doesn't have to play that big man at 4 or 5. he will take that position, and Zion can play that three. And like I said, that Jeremiah Fears being a two or point guard, how it's the it's a combination usually now how they switch it now on the league. So those three guys being young and youthfulness and being the core of that team, they have to put it together. Michael Peavy seems like he's going to be nice off the bench. He's probably a little bit undersized power forward, playing in that role of being on the post, having to but he can still guard 3 to 4 position. He could shoot a little bit, he could finish a little bit. So, he's probably looked at more of a role player, but he definitely got picked in top 40. He got picked 40th, and he got that trade from Washington to acquire him. So he's gonna be nice. With the other players, I don't really like their roster that they currently have. There's not a lot of star power on there, not a lot of people that pop out. DeJounte Murray still will be the point guard for the Pelicans. So that's going to help them win the starter. So everybody else that's looking on the bench, they got to start stepping up and helping that core group. Even though those young guys come in with a mindset that you want to start in position and you want to be a high level contributor with Zion Williamson to keep him in New Orleans. Because all I hear is every trade, every trade deadline, they trading Zion or Zion's unhappy or all that stuff coming out every time since he's been in the league. Just hopefully he got people. This is by far the team that his team now. They got Brandon Ingram to a different franchise. I don't think DeJounte Murray, coming from a selfish standpoint of coming from San Antonio, he was there to be the point guard and to be a defender, and that unselfishness will help Zion be the quote-unquote superstar leader that he needs to be because of his talent said so. So and they got a okay bench. Hopefully they step up and become a really good to great bench and compete. So yeah, that's that's it for New Orleans Pelicans. Hopefully they turn it around and keep having to draft in the lottery every year. The next team, all right, we got the Memphis Grizzlies. They traded Portland for their 16th pick to move to 11 to acquire Cedric Coward. I like him. I like him overall getting picked. He's very explosive. He probably got to work on his 3-point shot, but he's explosive. He can guard on the perimeter, protect the rim. He's very versatile. You know what I'm saying? Those type of guys, you could easily become a superstar, an all-star if they game develop and be complete in the NBA. So I like that pick at 11. I know why they went up. They just re-signed Jared Jackson, which everybody was worried if he was going to re-sign. So that's nice. They still got John Morant will always be a high level. I would call it, that would be a possession for Memphis, even if they had to trade him sometimes in the deadline. He's been breaking down the last few years. He had some issues in a few years. He might not want to stay. It all depends on him, really. Him committing to Memphis. He's still young, under 25, I think. So they got a very young team. They definitely could turn around within an instant to being from 7 to 8. They got in the playoffs last year. Ja got hurt in the playoff run. And I think they're gonna be all right. I'm actually high on this team. I think they changed their coach. I think that was the issue right there for me. I don't think they had an issue with it. It wasn't coaching, it was just immaturity. They might need to get some veteran leadership there. Check out their roster. They actually kind of answered what I was saying. They got Cole Anthony, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I reported on that, but I slept my mind. They're gonna need both of them guys to step up in the beginning of the year. I don't think John Morant will be healthy until the end of the year, if not miss the whole year. But they had drafted Zach Edney, who actually came in stronger, in shape, wanting to start in position. He was there the whole year. It was a lot of success for him. He was definitely in the running for Rookie of the Year. If I don't think he won, he might have won. I don't remember who won, but he was definitely there for. So they got a nice. I'm very high on KCP, and I'm definitely like the Cole Anthony being coming over as well in that trade. So They actually did a great job. Brandon Clark's still there. They probably need, probably only thing I could say they might need is some post presence. Like I was saying, but with the people that they drafted, um, it's more on the perimeter. We're gonna need they want help on the perimeter. I think they need like one solid veteran big man. Like I said, Steve Adams could go back to Memphis and it will be a nice pick. I think he might still be a free agent. He might have signed already. I'm not sure yet. But that would have been a great fit for him to come back and help solidify that roster. I think that was a big piece that they was missing just with leadership and this toughness. So yeah, that's it for Memphis. Now, I will continue to break down 2 to 3 teams. I don't know who I'm going to break down next tomorrow, but it's going to be time over time, even if I go into the season of summer league. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's my breakdown. That's my run through. Entertainment. I was watching the Tron. I didn't finish that, but it's the Star Wars series, the season 2. I was watching that. I gotta check it. I forgot what it's called. The Elor or something that I was checking that out. I might have to watch the rest of that. It seems pretty interesting. I only got to the first two episodes, so a lot of that story plot line that I try to catch because they try to play it out in real life. So this is just if you know about the world, you know how some of this stuff just happens because the fuse haven't stopped over time. And yeah, so you know how that goes. They try to put information out there for people to catch on and to like really try to help the situation more to hurt it. But that's how writing is. So I'm gonna continue to do me, and everybody gonna continue to do them. Shouting to everybody that's with me. But nah, man, I just want to say thank y'all for listening, man. This is Dynasty the Podcast Show. I'm your host, Ira Bush, and I will see y'all tomorrow.